Good afternoon, Tim.
I said, here we are again in the
We are here
studio.
indeed, but hope you are now recharged, refreshed after a few weeks
Oh,
of off
absolutely.
time.
Absolutely. Hope the same for you.
It was, and now we are indeed recharged. Yeah, back at work. But while we are back at work, there's a lot of things happening. Yeah, I mean, also when I was off work, I ran into a few friends, colleagues, acquaintances. Uh, the common topic I heard everywhere was AI. Yeah, I mean, good and bad, but that seems to be the topic for now. Do you also
Talk
hear
of
it?
town. Talk of town. Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially, let's say, within my network of friends, family, colleagues who are, let's say, what I would call related in the industry. Yeah, because I think it gets a lot of attention, for people who are in a professional services or a software or in the big organizations. End consumers, I do still once in a while run into people who have never heard what, for example, ChatGPT is, and I have to explain them. Yeah. And if I have the chance, even show them. Although my kids, being 15 and 13-year-olds, are probably better to write prompts than you and me combined. So it's again another signal, as we've seen, I think, historically a few times, yeah, with new technology,
Mm.
call it hypes or disruptors or accelerators, whatever label we give it. I guess that's what we see. Yeah. And personally, I'm 100% convinced it will make changes in our personal lives, but definitely also in work lives and the way certain jobs are designed and executed. Um, no
But
doubt about it.
but what's your impression? Is this something new that just popped up, or what is ChatGPT AI? I
I mean,
mean,
I don't. I mean, it's not new. Yeah, I think everybody, that you talk about with knowledge on the subject, it is not new because at the end of the day, there are software algorithms and programs, and concepts and models behind, of which some of them, that are very popular today, even go back, I think, to the 1970s. I heard, yeah. But it's definitely now talk of town because it it is accelerating, and I think that is a combination of a few factors. The fact that computing power is increasing and has increased, yeah, and it is stronger than ever, and continues to increase. There's big data, right? There's data in the internet, thanks to the internet, available in huge, enormous volumes that we haven't seen historically before, etc. So there's probably a few of those things playing into it. Yeah. And then ChatGPT, I looked at it the other day. It is within the top 100 of most Googled words, even now in August 2023. I think somewhere it's spot 30, 33, 34. Um, so yeah, I think that became famous, less than a year ago, right?
mm,
And then that has accelerated, as I said, in people's maybe personal appetites, and curiosity, and then of course the media playing very much into that. But at the same time, though I'm from a personal perspective, I'm interested and want to keep myself up to date. My mind immediately thinks also professionally. Yeah, what should we do with it, us in Turnpacks as an organization, and should we focus on it? Should we not focus on it? And if we do, how should we do it? And how should we make it relevant? For existing and possible new customers. So,
okay.
but nothing new. And again, I don't think that's the topic of education for now. But AI is an umbrella word, in my opinion, for a lot of different technologies. Yeah, that bring some level of intelligence or automation. And a ChatGPT is very much in the large language model space. Yeah, where you can kind of have a dialogue. You can ask a question, you get something back. You can nuance it. It's kind of like talking, so to speak,
Mm.
with some smart robot who knows a lot. And it's a bit. I mean, I find it quite impressive. But at the same time, there's others. Yeah, there's deep learning. There is machine learning. There is, speech to text, text to speech. There's robotics. All of that, I think, sits within that bigger AI umbrella. Um, and I think the hype today is a lot around the language models. Um, but I am 100% convinced. that that will become very soon very relevant also for companies and organizations based on their in-house
Mm.
documents, data, knowledge, um, and then basically will build and have to build solutions, that can boost productivity.
So, in this big ecosystem or this big umbrella of AI, which includes machine learning, language processing, expert system, speech, where do you see that we as Turnpikes, yeah, come into picture, or more specifically, how do our customers benefit from what is
Yeah,
happening?
I mean, so again, our customers knows us for two main focus areas. Yeah, so one is around invoice management, or basically a business document processing automation in combination with SAP. So that is the Vim part of our business. The second part is the ECM, yeah, which is very advanced document management. I mean, if we start with the Vim side, um, there it's definitely nothing new. Yeah, because already today with the current versions and since a while, there is machine learning capabilities in the data capture side, yeah, which
Mhm.
makes it easy not only for invoice document types but also for other type of documents, whether it's a sales order, things that traditionally had been more difficult for a software to interpret because it was maybe not as structured as, for example, an invoice document. That is now possible, yeah, because the system will learn from you and me and all the end users saying, okay, it's this value for this field, and if it has seen a few examples, then it will learn from that. So that's already there today with Vim in terms of data capture, and then also in terms of, let's say, enhanced automation of the process itself. Yeah,
Mm.
if you cannot have the, let's say, programmatically match, yeah, saying okay, you match A and B and C, and then it will give me D, and you can program that. It also does for the more or less predictive, again in the context of Vim non-PO invoices, based on historic data. It will kind of predict, yeah, and give with a certain level of probability, the right coding lines, yeah, what GL account, which cost
Mm.
center does this invoice belong to. So I think we already, let's say, see it very concretely there. Very curious to keep an eye on how that is going to um, continue there and what the roadmap shows there. Then in the second area in ECM, yeah, take again document management. There are also already today plenty of capabilities in terms of automatic classification. Yeah? If you have a big repository of documents and you have to apply some classifications, the classic metadata to it, that software capabilities already exist today and for a long time as well. To go into the document, read what the document is about, and then apply the right metadata and do that automatic classification. But in that space, I also expect a lot of changes actually, yeah, in the content management side, not at least when it comes to the end user experience. Because just as you and I, maybe up until a year ago, went to Google and based on
Mm.
keyword searches, try to get information and learn new things, and figure things out. Today we might try also ChatGPT and have a different kind of experience. The same will happen with ECM, inside organizations. Yeah, so the keyword search will get replaced by a more conversational interaction. Yeah, where you're gonna ask the robot to say, listen, I am dealing with this customer or this prospect. To take the customer example, what do we own in terms of contracts, and can you in these contracts see whether any of them are expired or close to expire, or you can ask questions about what is our liability, and
Mm.
just, I mean, I can even imagine all the possible use cases that we're going to be able to see there. So
I mean, indeed. I mean, searching, the looking at data, automation, touchless. I mean, these are definitely use cases which I see in our customer base. They are that being actively worked on. Not now. These things have been existing for a long time. A couple of topics now I also see getting a lot more traction. Now you mentioned Vim, and I can probably say a few words around it. One is e-invoicing, right? And there's a big talk about it across the world today. And I also see that a lot of AI initiatives are being taken both from inside the ERP system, like Vim, as well as the whole ecosystem, how the invoicing are flowing. Yeah, so
mm,
that is also an area where I see a lot of traction happening in our customer base in the daily work we do. The other topic that is coming across is sustainability reporting. Yeah, in the EU, uh, there will be a new law applicable next year
Mm,
where companies have to report on their sustainability across the supply chain. Now, there's a lot of focus in capturing that data from different parts of the supply chain in a most effective manner and get quickly to the insights. And now, again, you're talking about huge data, different data sets coming through it, and then, having
mm,
all of these automated, right? That's another area where I see a lot of things happening with the whole data set out here. So and then finally all of them come together to automation, right? You want to deal with more things with more data with less people, ideally,
mm,
not involving humans as much as they used to in doing these transactional jobs. So indeed I see this in different forms being talked about in our current customer base, and then we are also trying different ways, to how to fit and mix and match to meet these objectives.
mm. Yeah,
It's,
absolutely, absolutely. But I think, I mean, from our side, it has high attention, right? I mean, you and I keep an eye on what is happening, but I also think it's our responsibility, yeah, as we are specialists in our domains, is that we really know what it means. Yeah, so I think that starts with what is already possible today, what's going to come next, yeah, and also let's say within the big enterprise world, what are solutions that work for big enterprises? Yeah, because what you often see in these type of solutions is that it's easy for a startup to do a quick POC and get
mm,
something nice and shiny to work, with a low number of examples, yeah, or documents, very nicely written in English language. But what if you scale in volume, you scale globally, different languages, even different character sets, etc. Then it becomes more difficult. Yeah, and that's why I think it's very important to keep an eye on the big players and the enterprise software providers. Yeah, in our case, OpenText and SAP, who are now first line or on the forefront. Yeah, so I'm very happy to see the initiatives and the vibe that is happening there. But I think that's part of our responsibility, to continue understanding the landscape capabilities in order then to advise the customers. Yeah, and then keep our eyes open as we already have done always to say, but what is really the business benefit? Yeah, because
mm,
technology on its own is only one thing, but how can it benefit, and what are really the good use cases and things that make sense? And that can be to increase your top line and do more sales. Yeah, because sales and marketing roles will also change within the whole AI. I would predict how. I do not know. I'm very curious to see how it will change. But it can be top line, it can be bottom line,
mm.
automation and cost savings. It could also be very much in area of compliance, yeah, in the
I mean,
regulatory space, no doubt about that.
I'll just add one thing to what you said. Indeed, we are keeping an eye on our partner ecosystem about what SAP OpenText are doing. At the same time, I would like to point out we are also actively working with our own infrastructure and all offerings. Take INA, for example, or Insight Analytics, which is based in Azure. And because it is part of Azure, we have access to all the good things that Microsoft is also doing.
Mm,
And we are actively working on all those things to further enhance the power of an INA tools. So on one hand, we are keeping an eye on what OpenText, SAP, and the general ecosystem as such is going towards. And then at the same time, we are applying that to our own products in-house. Yeah, so it's a
mm,
learning experience all throughout, if you may say. And I think it's exciting time. I mean,
mm.
I do hear a lot of questions saying, is it going to take away all our jobs? I mean, will you be recorded in a few years' time? I don't know how you look at it, but I'm sure that's not the end of it, right? It's just going to give us more and more exciting things that we have not yet done.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a few revolutions, yeah, industrial revolutions in the past before, and you always have those two schools, right? Will there be still enough jobs for everybody in the world? Or is the robots gonna take over everything? I think let's wait and see. Yeah, I'll try to be very realistic on that, and I assume there will be pros and cons. Um, but uh, but regardless of that, I'm always a technology optimist, and I'm sure that new jobs will be created. Yeah, that's 100% a given. And some maybe older jobs might disappear. Yeah. Um, so I think again, in general, it's probably a good idea to be open for change. Yeah, and be attentive of what's happening in and around you, because there might be classic jobs that, yeah, within a few years from now will no longer exist. Yeah, or be of as much value as they have been historically. But I think, for now, as I said, we want to be on the forefront, and that starts with education. And we are very attentive, not only you and me, but also the rest, the experts that we have in the team, to learn and see what are the capabilities, what makes sense, and then also know it in detail, right? How to get there, so that we're in the best position possible in our industry, yeah, to be the best party to advise and help customers to achieve the benefits from it, and maybe help them navigate through this new jungle. But this is only the first, say, time you and I talk about it in these sessions. But I'll predict you, it will not be the last time. Yeah, and
Absolutely agree.
as
Absolutely
you
agree.
know, we're going to attend a few conferences and events and trainings in the coming weeks, yeah, weeks, months. But especially, I would say, it's probably going to be a matter of weeks, because this is very fastly changing. And I'm very happy and motivated to share whatever learnings and conclusions I come to, maybe in one of the next calls or the posts that we continue to do,
Yep.
if that makes
V-
sense.
Very much, and I would be very much looking forward to all these exciting things coming up.
All right.
It was great talking to you too again today, Tim. Look forward to next time.
Same to you. Thank you very much, Sid. Thank you
Thank
for
you, Tim.
today.
Bye.
Bye bye.